What's going on, everybody? Uh, if you don't remember, I'm Patrick. This is Earl. I know it's been quite a while, so I understand if you don't remember our names. And if you're here with, wondering about the Honda, it is still here too. It's just the owner just doesn't have the motivation yet, but he's going to be doing something with it today. But the main thing is that we're going to be doing something with Earl. So, I should explain where I've been, I guess. I was single for probably 10 years. And then I met Ellie, and honestly, I put forth all of my effort into that. And sadly, Earl got pushed to the back, but it was for a good reason. I think she'll forgive me. But that's okay. Today we are going to be working on Earl again. Now, I did do a lot of stuff here recently. If you recall, there was a bunch of stuff here that was kind of crazy. That stuff right there. Now it is fixed. I replaced that line all the way back down there to the little junction down there. So this line is perfectly good. I haven't checked it. It still has fluid in it, but there are bubbles in the system, so I'm going to have to probably do some stuff with that. Bleed the brakes. That's what I was getting at there. But the main thing that we need to do to it is figure out why the fuel keeps leaking out. Because I keep putting fuel in the fuel cell back there, and then like lately I've just only been putting a little bit in there, and it seems to leak out around where the pump is down there. So we're gonna climb underneath there. We're gonna have to jack it up though, do all that good stuff, and it's Minnesota, so it's cold. That's why I have my onesie. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah. Okay, so I don't want to put too much fuel in there, but there is, about an inch, half an inch, something like that. It's enough to make it to the line and run down it, and gravity will do its thing. So the question is, will it leak? So I look different than when I first started this video. It's cold now, really, really cold. So the main thing though is it gave it quite a few days, and there is still fuel inside. So that means that it has actually doesn't appear to have been leaking out anywhere where it used to leak, but that's without any pressure to it. We have all this system up here that we have not ran it with fuel in it because I couldn't ever get it to stop leaking back there. But that's just because tightening down AN fittings can be annoying, because you're trying to like hold sections and you don't have free arms, but you also can't get a second person under there with you because you don't have a lift, to hold the other section of something that's also spinning while you're spinning the other two things. So yeah, it's annoying. So one of the things we also have to do is actually set this guy, which if you remember any of my previous videos, I know it's been a minute, this might be too big. And one other thing, I also need to have a vacuum line that goes from here to here. Okay, small dilemma with Earl here. We bought Evil Energy fittings off of Amazon. That's where we fucked up. So what we're going to have to do is replace this fitting for sure. It leaks and it has way too much play on the line. Look at that. It's just way too much. As if there isn't even an O-ring or something. It just leaks a lot. And then there's also one down there that's leaking, and it's the same company. It's been quite a few days. It's been really, really cold. So damn cold. But then it got warm, and then it got cold again. Like it's below freezing again. But it's supposed to get warm again. So I've just been worried about starting this for the first time with the oil being so thick. You know how it is whenever it's cold outside. Your oil is just so much thicker than it normally would be. And when it hasn't had anything run through it as it is, I'm kind of worrying, about running it that way. You know, if I had like an oil heater or something like that that was built into it, then that would be one thing. But unfortunately, I don't. And I didn't think it. It was like I made that post about starting it, and we've been having a really warm winter, and like it was in the 40s and 50s. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get out there and do that, because that would have been okay. I would have been okay with that temp. But under freezing, it's just I don't trust it. I mean, I wouldn't need the radiator, which I don't have any water in it anyways, because I still have to figure out from there to there, because I got that line right there, which will be hot. So I'm trying to figure out a way to go nice tight bend over here and bam into that, while also staying out of the way of the belt, which that's a whole nother thing, is running the belt without the because I have the alternator, it's over there, but the problem is without the power steering I have to have a special little bypass. And then we also have the issue of right there, you know, we got the distance between the plug and that right there, so I need to relocate these here coils to a whole new location. So that's going to be a whole nother thing. And I had thought about changing the fuel system because I've been having so many leaks, but apparently it's held the fuel. I just put some in like a week ago. All right, y'all gonna be my eyes. Yeah, let me get you some light too. Okay, I don't see a leak there. Do we see leaks anywhere? So let's see. I did not get to see what that pressure went to, but mainly just looking to see if there's any leaks anywhere. And currently, that's a no. Okay, I figured it out. It does build pressure. So I can see it right there. Y'all can't because my window is fucking filthy. But right there, it just generated like probably 35 PSI. I don't want to go too far though, because when it's running, it has more voltage going to it. And so that could go from 38 to 50 something just at idle. And I'm thinking, well, I'm pretty sure the Chevys, if I'm not incorrect, they run at like 50 something with it running. So I believe on idle that I guess it really probably should be closer to 43 when it's just sitting there. So I'm gonna bump it up just a little bit more and just kind of see what we got here. And yeah, it's still a little too cold to crank it up, but I feel a lot more confident, you know, like my fuel system isn't leaking anymore, you know. Oh my goodness. My new phone, it thinks it knows what I need to do. Okay, so that's 40 PSI. That's enough to start it up, and it'll probably be about in the 50s, you know, with the ignition running. And I'm gonna double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna warm up a good bit in the coming weeks, and so I'll actually be able to fire it up. But in that meantime, since I don't have to buy a regulator, I'm gonna go ahead and get figure out how to relocate these guys, because that's not an expensive thing to purchase, is relocating this. But the main thing is that the fuel doesn't leak anywhere. Like, that's just great. All right, guys. Yeah, I understand we didn't start it up, you know, but you gotta understand that I don't want to damage this engine. It's just too cold. It may be fine, but it's just like, you've seen people start up vehicles in the cold. They don't like it. They handle it, but when you haven't had oil running through the system at all ever yet, then you kind of want to, and especially with the issues we've had with the oil pressure, I want to make sure that it has the ability to flow as well as it can. So I do apologize if you were expecting it to be started, But we have solved some dilemmas. The fuel, we know that it's generating pressure and that it's good. And it's got great pressure. The fuel pressure regulator is not too big. I was worried about that. Um, I mean, everything's working great. I can't see why we wouldn't be able to start this truck up once it warms up. Like as soon as it warms up, I cannot see why we won't be able to start this up. It's got everything it wants. The only concern I have is the transmission. You know, when I put together the fourth or the final clutch pack or whatever, it seemed a little tight, so I was kind of a little worried. And that's kind of the main reason why I haven't started it, because I'm worried it's just gonna go, just right through this wall, But truth is it probably won't. But I am a little worried about it. And I wanted to make sure I got other things squared away. And I don't have to have the belt to start it, but I mean, if I wanted to let it run extended period of time, I need it at least for the water pump. So I don't have to have it for the alternator or even the power steering, but the water pump would be nice. So I'm going to look into getting that bracket and relocating the spark or the coil packs in the time, between now and when it warms up. But there's not really much left to do. I mean, other than running the cold side over to here, and then also there's actually a little bit more, but it's not going to stop it from idling. The turbos are going to only be part of it whenever it's physically like pressing on the gas. And so there's a lot more to go. All right, guys, that's it. I know you haven't seen me in a while, and we went over a lot, but there's been a lot going on. So I appreciate you hanging in there, and I will see you guys next time.